It is first. Hey, everybody. It is Tech Tuesday. This is Cathy Inman. It is June 14th. Hope everybody's ready for their week and their summer to get started. So we're going to do Tech Tuesday. Any open questions, Q&A, questions for me, questions for ER, questions for our other users. See what you guys have going on. And then, like I said, I've got a couple ideas we can go over if nobody has anything, but you guys are usually a resource of great questions. So happy to answer them or demo stuff or go through anything that you guys are stumped on. So raise your hands if you guys have a question. I know Ruben has a question. Does anybody else have a question before Ruben just jumps in? Yeah, hold on, Ruben, you hang tight because I know what you want. What's up, Jeff?
Go ahead, Ruben.
Oh, I know Ruben's question. He has a demo question he wants me to do.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Can I just a front end, really super easy one where, I know we've been talking a lot about, using the free card and then I kind of jumped into we're making a promotional card. Well, I did that for somebody as a favor. And then it turned out that it wasn't clonable. So I just want to be really clear on the effort that I'm going to put into anything I'm going to pre-create for somebody. I don't want to then have them come back and say, oh my God, it's great, but I can't do it. So what's the best pathway if you want to do a pre-created card specifically for a client or just as a favor, and then so they can easily then clone it or launch their new account, which is the goal.
Cathy, you want to take it or you want me to go?
You can go if you want to. It doesn't matter. I know that's been a big question.
So first and foremost, realize that there are two account types. There's your free account and there's your premium account. Okay, your premium account is just a paid account. The free account is completely free. Be very aware the new free account only allows for one template that allows you to create that one card from that one free business card template, and that gives them one link. So realize that the free business card template is limited to the free business card template. So with that being said, Jeff, if your intention is to design a card, help that person out and build them a card and get it to them, they will not be able to use that card or clone that card if they are on a free account. The moment that they become a premium account holder, they're paying a monthly fee for their account and they've unlocked multiple cards and the ability to use other templates. What I would recommend is you share your card that you created for them to them via Shuffle, and then they go into their card index and clone that card. That's going to be your smoothest path. That's going to save you the most amount of time, energy, and effort from there. And they can clone it from their card index that you sent it to them via Shuffle into their cards. Additionally, something that I recommend, and I know we talked about it on previous trainings, Cathy, is if you have a general, your card template that you use that you have everybody clone from, sometimes it is easier to send them your card via Shuffle to the card index so they have that, and then they actually clone it from your card and modify it on their end, as opposed to just verbatim cloning a template you built for them. So those are the two paths that they could go down. The reason why I say that is if you have one that you use over and over again, and I think, Ruben, I mentioned this to you as well, is if you're helping them out, it might make more sense to send them your card via Shuffle. So your card is in their card index, and then clone that template by either having them log in their account or logging into their account so that you're building the card for them in their own account. So that way you don't have a bunch of other people's cards sitting in your cards, if you will. Does that help you out?
Yeah, so then what would be the purpose of the promotion? I know that saves your cards, but what really then is my motivation to ever go into promo cards to build a card?
Just as an example for what they can create on the system. That's purely what a promotional card is. Hey, look, here's what you can create. But if you're actually putting it in their hands, realize one, they've got to be a premium user if that card template is anything other than the free business card template. This is another reason why I would recommend, even if you have all your cards built out, take an opportunity to build your own version of the free business card so that you can show other people what the free version looks like, or compare and contrast it against what a premium card could look like as well. And then, yeah, it's just a sample,
Okay.
So
Thank
I
you.
actually did that. Yeah, same thing. I did that this morning, sent it to somebody that I made last night. And it's somebody that I know, and it's somebody that I'm pretty sure he doesn't understand Shuffle yet, but he could really use Shuffle. Of course, I know that he doesn't know that yet. So I kind of did the same, I think probably the same thing you're talking about, but I didn't go into demo or into promo. I just built it in my account. I'm sure you have the 100 card upgrade. I mean, I have those extra cards anyways. And when I sent it to him, of course, I got the whole, this is awesome. How do I make some edits? Well, first you got to get your account.
Yeah.
So to me, it was the idea of, I'm going to make this, and I do kind of what you're saying, ER. I kind of have a generic logo, picture, information, contact me section, couple buttons. Those buttons didn't even go anywhere. So I was like, hey, I know you're going to need to do some edits on this if you want it. But the point is, I wanted to show you what this could look like. Right. And so I just use that same, and I just wash and repeat. I don't know if that helps. I mean, if it's somebody that I don't think is as interested, they're going to get the free card sample from me, and then we can bump up as they gain interest. So I don't know if that helps. My 2 cents. Okay. So Anna, what's up?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Here it's hot all over the world, and in the plains of Colorado, we're only going to 84 today. Thank you, God.
That was at 10 o'clock this morning, I think.
It was like 50-some degrees when I woke up this morning. It was like heaven. So,
no doubt.
Bouncing 40 degrees a day is kind of scary.
105 in Iowa. Good Lord.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say I'm glad you went over the promo card versus the free card. I always like to be especially clear on that. I guess I'm having kind of an issue with the campaigns. I don't understand creating a campaign at the time I create the card and then sending a campaign when I send the card. I'm not understanding the difference, and I'm not getting the response to campaigns that I was expecting to get. I actually got a response on a campaign yesterday, and I was like, whoa, what did I do right? So maybe
that's
I need
a good question to ask yourself, right?
Yep.
That's a great question to ask yourself, is what did that campaign, how was it different than anything else that you have out there, right? To me, I think a lot of people, a lot of the campaigns that I see or that people send to me, everything is mandatory. Would you answer every single one of those questions? Matter of fact, I even just I was on another website looking at internet, because you guys all know how great my internet's been lately. Last weekend, I was out for 3 days. And I live in Dallas, so I can't imagine if I lived in a farm or something. But
like me.
One of the questions was, are you interested in this other fiber internet? And I was like, maybe. And they're like, give us all your information. I was like, every single one of these questions is mandatory. Nope. Thank you anyways. All you're going to do is market something to me that I don't know that I'm interested in, and I don't know if I want. Right.
Yeah. And
so
that's exactly what I go through too.
First thing I would say is always
ask for the first name,
mm-hmm.
at least 3 letters of the last name so that I can find them. And either the email or the address, one or the other is required so I can reach out to you. But it says, let's connect respectfully.
I love it.
And that's pretty much what I put out there. I have a couple where, what are you interested in? And it's optional and you have choices. I've gotten none of those back. The one I got back was actually my Legal Shield card. And I was pretty impressed with the fact, what was the topic that she wanted to cover? Legal Shield. Okay. I was like, it works. Nobody else has filled it out, but it works.
It does work. And you know what? That might not be a bad thing, right? Depending on how many people have seen this card, you're also funneling interest, right? So how many of those people that aren't really interested do you want to sit there and talk to and waste your time with?
Not many,
right?
honestly. And she got the membership instantaneously, so not a problem.
So she was truly interested, and she went forward with what you were doing.
So the campaign worked. That's what I mean. It worked.
Mm-hmm. So again, it's kind of one of those, like, it's cherry picking those people for you because they actually took the time and said, yes, please call me, or yes, let's have this connection. I also think it depends on, and you guys can all please pipe in with your opinions as well. But for me, I think it depends on the card, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's my card that's like, this is who I am, these are all the things, do you want to schedule a face-to-face with me about any of these things? That's so generic. I get a lot more of those because they might be coming to me for a shuffle or for the nonprofit or for my networking or for something completely different, right? But if it's one that's very, very specific, sometimes I'll put on there, if it's one that I have set up for my networking group, literally that says, add yourself to my my contacts. Right, that one, they're like, wait, how is this going to do that? So they question it, not because they don't trust it, but they're like, I don't even get it. I'm like, well, let me show you. And they're like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. So sometimes it depends on what you're asking, where you're asking it, and again, how many questions and how mandatory is it. That's what I look at.
That's a great one, because I did a lot of networking.
Mm-hmm.
And they would but one practice I have taken on is that when I send someone the free card, in most cases I've already talked to them in some way or form, and I send them the free card, the little outline I have for the free card, and then a day later I said, oh, by the way, when you upgrade, this is what you get. And I give them one of my designer cards that I call them. This is what's capable of doing when you upgrade. And I just started doing that this week, and I've already gotten one person signed up. So
that's awesome.
I thought, I'm sending them the generic card, but they ought to see what they could get.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay, good. Thank you so much for your time and for your knowledge.
Well, and I think, Anna, there's a lot of variables, obviously, that are at play here. And each variable is going to have an impact. Some variables will have a greater impact on the outcome than others. And it's all about adjusting the variables as you test. So you have things like just the look and the feel of the card, right? Then you have things like, where is the form positioned on the card when you're using a campaign? Is it at the bottom of the card? Is it optional, like Cathy was talking about? Is it mandatory? All of those will have impact on the viewer. You have the viewer itself. Each person is unique, right? You have where they saw it at. Where was it posted to them? Was it shared to them and they stumbled upon it? Was it in a specific area? Like, I was looking under all this legal stuff, and then I saw the Legal Shield stuff, and then I knew it was like right in the exact same vein of what the person was looking for. All of those are going to play a role on how effective the campaign will be in whatever you're using it for, generating new leads, tracking the traffic flow. Again, there's an intent behind everything. Sometimes, and I think it was Cathy posted on here, right? We always talk about the right information to the right person at the right time and being very focused on that. Sometimes I will suggest to people, if you want to generate leads and have a lead capture form, build a card specifically with that intent, so that everything around the card is about, hey, it was so great to meet you. I look forward to, connecting. I want to add you to my preferred list or whatever. I want to network with you and be able to refer each other business, like what Cathy was talking about. Fill out the form below so that you can get added to my contact list or whatnot. You're directing them that path to go. Sometimes I will see a campaign being used on a card where it almost looks like disassociated from the card itself. It just doesn't make sense, or the label on there. It's like mandatory. Give me all of your information under the sun. And the label on it isn't very clear. I know you're not doing that, but for everybody who's listening to this, these are the things that we want to continue to adjust. And then you want to lean into what is working. When you do get those leads, okay, where did I post it at? What was the layout? Was it optional or mandatory? All of those things. And then again, try to recreate. And the more statistical data you get on that, the statistical significance will say, this performs better than this. And again, it's going to be unique to everybody. There's not like one catch-all, here's how to do it. You know what I mean? Because we're all promoting different things, talking about different things, connecting in different ways, etc.
Hey,
Well,
I want to thank you
might...
for giving us the link for the 3 cards for everybody, the little survey deal. I've gotten a huge response on that.
Great.
I went ahead and broadcast an email, said, hey, we're just, doing a little marketing thing, and take a couple minutes, take a look at these. And I've had a good response from them. I hope you're getting a great response.
We had a great response. In fact, I'm going to paste it back in here. If anybody hasn't had an opportunity, guys, I used the Shuffle platform to spin up 3 different landing pages. All of them were linked to each other via buttons. Cathy's talked about that, creating a microsite. Each one has an individual survey to ask for the respondents' views on the content of each page. And we got a great response back on all that stuff. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, check that out. See how I set up the page, all of that type of stuff is on there. And again, it was a process that didn't take too long. It took me maybe 30 minutes to create 3 pages. I already had the images ready. I had to create 1 page in a template, and I cloned it 2 other times. And after I was done, I spun up 3 separate campaigns. This is what Cathy's talked about before. And I took those campaign links and I put them on each of the buttons on the other cards so that they all navigate together. So again, depending on the use, you guys can make a little microsite with your Shuffle landing pages. You can make a business card with lead capture. You can do anything under the sun that you can envision. But it always starts out with having that vision of who's my intended recipient, how am I sharing it with them, and what do I really want this card to do for me? Do I want them to fill out information? Okay, great. Then focus the card around getting them to fill out the information. Do I want them to watch a video? Okay, great. Then think about the position of the video on the page. You don't want to say watch the video and then it's all the way at the bottom of your card and your image and name is at the top. Maybe it's flip those around and put the video right at the top. And then if they want to scroll down, they'll see your name and information. You always want to prioritize the elements on the card with the intended use of the card. And then because we've got flexibility to have multiple pages, right? Everybody on a premium account has 10 pages. Many of us have hundreds of pages. You can spin up pages for any type of use. And if you don't feel like you're using it at all, you can always modify it or delete it or whatnot. But, hopefully that'll help everybody with a little bit of guidance on there. Yeah, Anna, your hand went back up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I went back up because I have a question about what you're talking about. Can you set up a card, or several cards, where you put the information and then you go to see more? It's like part of what you just want to determine their level of interest and say to see more, and then they click on that button and it brings up a campaign or a lead page.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when they get that done, it has a button to go.
One of the things that Cathy was mentioning earlier is we're actually leveraging landing pages as a filtering mechanism to see who is engaged. So you can almost think about what you're talking about, Anna, as almost like a micro funnel. And I'm tempted here to sort of unblur my background and sort of map that out a little bit on the board here of what you're talking about. Because
check this out, ER. See if this helps. Look what I spun up, because I thought we would talk about this in the future. Not today necessarily, but
yep.
Look at that.
Yep. So again, you have this main part about you. Go ahead, Cathy. Speak to this.
I used a little whiteboard on Zoom today. I was like, I know this always comes up. So I was like, I'll just kind of spin this up real quick. But does this help, Anna? So where you can have, so on your About Me card or your main card, you could have, button 1 be about one business. Now, to your point, you might have, business 1 or information, so this might be more of an information page that goes to another Shuffle page or a website. And then from this page, maybe you have a more button, right? So maybe on this page, you put a more button because they do want more information, right? And then link that to another Shuffle page. So again, each one of these boxes represents a card or a Shuffle page.
Can you zoom out a little bit, Cathy? I'm just seeing one yellow box that says main About Me card. Were you
goodness.
going to show some other stuff?
How about that? Does that help?
Not refreshed for me. Anybody else?
Yeah, so we can see it.
Can you
Okay.
see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can move it all around. I got you.
Yeah, actually, I can take 2 fingers and I can control. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh,
I hadn't played with this, so I figured why
Yeah.
not play with it a little bit and see what it does.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
So then we could put another, let's see, another one of the little cards over here, I think. Nope. See, now it's harder to manipulate while you're in it. But you could put another, so then you have a more button on, so you go from your main card and business 1 to your next card, which is going to give them a little more details, to the more button that's going to give them more details.
yeah.
Right. So you could funnel again, you start with your big funnel and you go to the next and you go to the next, because from, I don't know why these little squigglies are showing up from that
Other people playing around.
Oh, is that what it is? Are you guys doing that? That's probably what it is, because I said everybody can play with it. There we go. Everybody's playing with it.
You got to shut us down.
I know, right? So from there, you can funnel your big, have your big topic. I think it was it last Friday or the Friday before, you were like, oh, I never thought about having a card, or somebody never told me about having like a card with a single mission, right?
Yeah.
So if the yellow original card is you're all about the things you do, then you funnel them down to the single mission. The single mission might be the green card or the blue card. That's basically saying, here's one thought or one business or one product or one service that I offer. And then if you want more information on that thing, right? So you give them the initial blurb and they're like, oh yes, this is the path of the thing I want to learn about. Then you can go to the next card, or again, jump to some kind of like, let's connect card. It's time. You have to get to the point, right, where it's time for either them to contact you or you to contact them. And I think, and this is what I was going to say earlier, and having Mike and Jeff on here, people that build this kind of stuff all the time, you guys might know better, but I don't know what the click-through rate is on things. But I mean, if you're at an event and you have a booth and people are walking up to you and they're clicking on your card to enter a contest or whatever, you're going to see that campaign works flawlessly, right? They want to win that $50 Amazon card, so they're going to fill that out and they're going to hit every single contact that comes through. You're going to see all of those campaigns come into your shuffle, right? But if you're just posting this out in Facebook, or you're posting your card out when you're networking, you have a fewer amount of people coming into that original funnel to find the interest to hit the information in your campaign. Do you see what I'm saying with that? So obviously, again, kind of like what ER did before Shuffle, like having these massive websites that are hitting millions of eyeballs, he had more likely that the guy was going to hit the campaign and buy the product. So it just also depends on where you're using those campaigns, how you're using them, and the amount of eyeballs, and the ones that land in there and hit the information. Same with me too. I don't get a million hits on Instagram or wherever my links are, right? But when somebody fills up that campaign, there is a very high likely that we are going to have a conversation and they're going to either get shuffled, need the nonprofit, or come to my networking meeting, whatever one it was.
Well, and Cathy, if you don't mind me adding on this, again, I'm going to speak to Cathy's example here where she's talking about Shuffle, the nonprofit, networking as 3 of these options. And she starts out with this yellow card that is her sort of, for lack of a better descriptor, the catch-all card. But don't feel like every person you're sharing with always has to come in at the top of the catch-all card. The key to having multiple cards, even if you're interlinking them, is again, the right information to the right person at the right time. If Cathy's talking to somebody or she's in an online group and it's talking about networking, she might just give the link to one of these green cards or one of these blue cards that's relevant to the topic at hand. So that way she's cutting through the noise and saying, here, I think this is what's going to specifically help these eyeballs at this time. So be aware of that. I feel like all too often we try to create the perfect funnel and we expect that everybody's going to go in at the top of the funnel. But if you do it based on landing pages, somebody could come in completely in the side of the funnel because they navigated and found one of your pages, like a networking overview card that you posted in a social group that sort of led them in through that route. So again, always try to keep in mind the right information to the right person at the right time, and think about who your audience is, how you're going to be sharing it, and what the intended use is. Specifically to like what Cathy, you brought up about maybe you're going to a trade show and you're having a booth and you're going to have the virtual fishbowl and you're going to have a QR code that's like enter to win this prize. Clearly, you're not going to send them to your personal business card. You should have a landing page created specifically for the, the fishbowl, and probably a campaign created that is that QR code saying, look, this is my fishbowl prize entry for 6/14 of 2022 XYZ trade show. And you put that little QR code out there on the virtual fishbowl, and some people will throw their cards in and other people are going to scan and fill out the form, but you're already setting that expectation. They know what it's for when they're seeing it, what they're expecting when they scan it, all of that type of stuff. You're going to get a higher, to Cathy's point, click-through or conversion rate of people filling out the form because you've set that expectation. And if you took that same campaign link that was on the QR code for your fishbowl and just randomly posted it out there in a Facebook group, again, two totally different locations. One will lose complete context, and you probably wouldn't get anybody to fill out the form because they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Enter for a chance to win, all this other stuff at the great meeting you at the event. You want to really dial in the content of that card specifically to the use.
100%. Jeff, did you have a comment on this?
Yeah, Dana taught me how to do this.
Yeah, get the hand up.
Okay. And I've got a tip. So when I'm absorbing stuff, I'm happy to like regurgitate it back out to the group. So it's the ask formula, or there's, I don't know if you guys know Ryan Levette, but he is the master of the quiz funnel, which I think this is an appropriate time to give you guys the question. And just one question. People don't want to take these surveys, right? I started one the other day on a fitness and wellness thing, and it got too deep. I jumped out of that thing. But let me ask you this. Here's a simple question. And again, this is like, you can apply this to whatever you guys are doing, okay? Think of your business or businesses or whatever you're involved in, and then you can put step one. So visualize your Qualify card, right? For this. The landing page starts with, and again, you have some hook at the top. I'm happy to show you an example, but if you don't want me to share my screen, I can just verbalize it. But my question that I have here is step one. See, and that tells a person, oh, I have to do something. So I'm looking at it right now as I'm telling it. I'm happy to share, but anyway, but it just says, step one, please tell me the number one thing. Okay, now I want you all to fill in the blank into your specific business that is currently here's the rest of my question. That is currently holding you back from achieving a 6-figure passive income online. What is currently holding you back from achieving a 10-pound weight loss in the next 30, what fill in the blank, right? What's holding you back from paying your freaking bills this month because gas prices are $5.29 or whatever, 10. That one question. Now, using Elify, right? There's different softwares you can use. I literally have a 1, 2, 3 click quiz that will then open up a pop-up. Okay, with Elify, we don't have that. But guess what? You can do that with a button that says, I don't have a business yet. Button 2, I have a business, but it's not producing a 6-figure passive income. Button 3, new ways to create an additional 6-figure passive income. You guys fill in the stems. Again, I was a teacher and I wrote multiple choice questions all the time. So if you want to talk questions, stems, there's great. And I'm not the biggest expert, but I've spent a lot of time coming up with a single compelling question. What's holding you back from getting more leads? What's your biggest struggle in getting more income in selling more of your fill in the blank product? And then give them 3, and again, you're segmenting. Now, here's the trick. and this is going on to what you just showed, Cathy, your little segmentation is like a mini chat. Button 1, or I don't have a business yet, that button, send them to your second card, right? Which is going to talk to who? The newbie that doesn't have a clue where to get started.
Yeah.
Now, card number 3, but okay, you're still on the landing page. They put, let's see, I have a business, but they're not quite achieving what they want. Plug them into that. Now what? If you're doing LFI, you can say, hey, what a great complementary business that you can have in another additional passive income stream that might, so you have a video or whatever waiting on that third card. Card number 4, I'm a 6-figure earner. I got all the money in the world, but man, I am not stupid. I am savvy and I'm open-minded about hearing about what you got to tell me. Now that video, you're not going to say, hey, newbie that doesn't know how to copy and paste. You're going to say, listen, I get it. You're a savvy entrepreneur. You're making 6 figures. You have more money than God, but do you have the freedom that you're looking for? You have location freedom. You have freedom with your time. You blah, blah, blah. See, the whole message on card number 4 is talking to, I make 6 figures now, but I'm looking for new ways to create an additional 6-figure passive income. In other words, I want more, baby. So you talk to that dude totally different than you would talk to the guy that's like, I've never had an online business. I don't know how to copy and paste. Right? So you talk more like a 5th grade teacher would. Okay. So now you got 4 cards. 1 card is your landing page, and all you're doing is giving them a bold headline about passive income or how to lose weight or what's your biggest struggle. Give them the 1 question, 1, 2, 3. That's it. No 17 other things on the freaking card. That drives me nuts. And then get them to the segmented result card that you want, or the pop-up or whatever you want. And life will be so much easier for all of us if you follow that formula.
And Jeff, really what I think you're describing is the ability for the viewer of your card to choose their own adventure, right? You think about it, the initial heading page is like, everybody's here, but now based on who you are and what you need, choose one of these 3 sub pages to go to. And again, I think that this is looking at the intent and that end user. They're self-selecting. So your savvy entrepreneur is going to one page and your complete newbie is going to another page. Could you imagine trying to talk to the newbie like a savvy entrepreneur, or talk to the entrepreneur as if they were a newbie? You wouldn't convert as well. So what Jeff is talking about actually helps increase overall conversion rate for the traffic that goes to those pages. So think about just trying to keep your pages simple, uncluttered, and very in front of the person. Have good, strong calls to action and let them select where they're going to go, but give them a path to follow. And you have to be wise. You have to sort of step back and say, what are all the paths or options that I might have? Jeff, you had something
I want to simplify. So some of you are saying, oh my God, I don't want to make 3 different destination cards for that. Guess what? In my particular funnel that I'm using, I'm running them all to the same place. They're just saying, I'm the newbie.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that's doing okay, but I could do better. Or I'm the guy that's crushing it, but man, I'm not stupid. I want to crush more. So you send them all to what? The same next card, or it's an invitation to come to a webinar.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't matter. So now you know that you've already, so then in the webinar, what do? Hey, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're an expert or somewhere in between, you're in the right place, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to introduce ER and he's going to tell you how to make passive income with Shuffle. End of story. See how you make it as easy as you need to, you guys. You just make them feel like they're coming through a special door and they're getting a special thing as they click the button after they self-select. People love to tell about themselves, right? Let them do it.
So I just want to, I want to mark that because what you just said, Jeff, I want to sort of draw this out visually. I'm a visual person so that everybody can see this. Okay, here's one option. You have your 1 card and you have 3 buttons, right? And to Jeff's point, maybe there's a question on that card that's going to allow them to select which of those 3 options.
There you go.
Which of those 3 options they want to choose. Now, you have, and I'm going to go through 2 scenarios. One, Jeff, is that you mentioned. One scenario is you create a separate card, like we were talking about, where each button goes to a different card, okay? The other option, and to Jeff's point and to Jeff's strategy, you could simplify this, again, depending on your messaging. And again, most people will overlook this. Somebody like myself who's very analytical, I'll go through and check every option on some people's cards and see all that stuff. I'll look at somewhere else. However, not everybody is like this, right? So to Jeff's point, to simplify it down further, he just builds a second card that's like the enroll in the webinar type of thing, you know, and he has all three buttons linked back down to that exact same card, but you know, the user coming through actually feels like they're going on their own journey. And here's the reality. Shuffle will support both of those versions. It's just a matter of personal preference of the route that you want to go down. Jeff might say, look, I got this 1 second card to convert 60% conversion rate. I don't need card number 2 and card number 3 because everybody converts on this card. Or you might realize, actually, I do need to segment it out and I need, you know, button to go here, button to go here, button to go here. And then maybe after you talk to them a little bit more, they all end up coming back to the same enrollment page anyways. You need to start thinking about, like, how am I using the page? What is the journey I'm taking that viewer on? What am I asking them to do? Enroll in something, give me information, buy something, go somewhere, reach out to me, schedule an appointment. All of these things are different, what we would call calls to action. And we want to be focused on generating the correct call to action that we want that visitor to take. There's no sense in saying, hey, book an appointment with me, book an appointment with me, book an appointment with me, if all you want them to do is go to your store, you know? So I hope that helps visually for people.
Yeah, and I think ER, to help everybody, if you notice before the question, I put step 1 to answer the question. And so whatever the thing is you want them to do, if you're going to do a step 1, make it step 1. Then when they click the button, they go to the next card, it better say, you know, something step 2, congratulations, whatever, glad you're here. Now here's step 2, click here to register. You know, there's a video, you tell them about the webinar and say excited, click the button. The point is, guys, call to actions. When you tell people step 1, step 2, step 3, they will love you because we talked about this before. Coach, KSS, keep it simple, silly, stupid, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I got thick skin. You got to keep it simple. I have been simplifying and honing down. And so that's why I have been sort of on a little bit of a preaching mode here, trying to tell everybody, make each of one of your cards, get 100 cards, guys, make each one so one thing only, one big domino, and then smash false beliefs down with your succeeding cards.
Yep. And be thinking about it. I mean, you've got real estate, right? A card can scroll, but be aware of that, right? What are you going to do? They call it above the fold, right? What are you going to do on the area above where somebody first sees it? Because we've got 5 seconds to capture their attention. This is what Jeff is talking about when he's got like an H1 headline, you know, across the top, that big bold statement. I love what Jeff's talking about. You know, maybe it's a bunch of text here or some big bullet points. And then he's got the action step 1. You know, here's the question. Here are your options for buttons. You know, again, you want to pre-lay this stuff out in your mind. And the other thing that, Jeff, I know you've talked about, I know we've talked about on calls before, is don't feel like you're at ground zero reinventing the wheel, guys. If you need a good example or a good benchmark, Google will be your best friend. In fact, if you go on to Google right now and talk about like endless scrolling sales funnel, like just do a search for endless scrolling sales funnel, you'll get 50 million different samples of an endless scrolling sales funnel. And here's the reality. If you look at, I don't know, you know, let's say it takes you a minute to look at one sales funnel. You know, if you looked at 20 of them in 20 minutes time, you're going to start to identify some common attributes or patterns that all of them are using. And Jeff, I know we can speak to some of these things when time allows at some point, but things like your scarcity or your time limitation, right? Or your borrowed confidence. These are elements. There's definitions of those elements that the internal lingo is, but really it's like, do you have other brands that other people would recognize? Do you have a big, bold statement? Are you saying like, do you have a countdown timer? Oh, 5 minutes left to register for this webinar. It's filling up. I mean, we will see these things if we open up our eyes, step back and look enough. The same thing if you just product sales page, type in product sales page or product sales funnel or service sales funnel. And again, you can look around. There's a lot of examples out there. Now, I'm not saying one example is better than the other. I'm saying don't start from scratch, sort of scratching your head going, how am I going to lay this out? Start to look for some examples that you think would work for the scenario that you're intending to use that card with, and then lean into that. Now, yep. Tuesday, you've been waiting so patiently. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
No problem. Question, based on everything you just showed and what Jeff just showed, this will be the continuation from the free card or the premium?
Yeah, this is a good question. So again, on a free account, and maybe I should, on a free account, let's go right there, you get one card. Okay, so if you have a free account, you get one card and you can use one template. And I don't know, Cathy, if you want to share your screen, you're welcome to bring up the free business card template, but that's going to be very limiting. What the free business card template is what it says, a free business card. So the way it's going to lay out, right, you're going to have a share and a save button. You're going to have your picture on there. You're going to have your title, your company, your contact info, your name. Then you're going to have a section that's like contact, and it'll have like up to 4 buttons, phone, email, address. Then you're going to have a section called connect. The same buttons, but that's more for social. Then you'll have a button on there. And again, now you can see I'm starting to get to the scroll portion of what's above or below the fold. Right? And you can see the button. And then you saw as Cathy was scrolling, you've got a video. And then you've got a form down below. So that's going to be the 100% constraint that you are in Tuesday when you have this free business card. It's laid out exactly how it's laid out. You can't drag and drop things. The only thing that you have flexibility on with this free business card template is if you do not want something on the card, you do not fill it out. So if you don't want lead capture form, you just nix it and it won't be on there. You don't want video, you just nix it and it won't be on there. You don't want the contact me stuff, you nix it and it won't be on there. So there's some ability to compress it and make it simple. I think the intent behind the free business card is specifically for networking. I think everybody in the world should be introducing themselves with a digital business card. If we all put each other's cards in our card indexes, we'll be able to refer each other business. But outside of that one marketing component, which is your business card, the premium account is the way to go. That's going to offer you ultimate flexibility. 10 cards to start, tons of different templates, the ability to go into the advanced builder and drag and drop, ability to create multiple campaigns with different questions, all of that type of stuff. So truly, free business card is just to sort of pique their interest and then give everybody something for free. Gotcha. In the industry, sometimes you'll hear free offers called tripwires. Hey, thanks for talking to me. I want to support you in your business. Let me give you this gift. You want to give me something? Yes, I want to give you a free digital business card. That'll allow you to give it back to me so I have it to refer you business and you can house mine. And we're both going to be better off when you're on this platform with a free business card. And then Awesome. They're going to see your business card or your other pages and they're going to be like, Tuesday, your card looks like that. My card looks like this. How do I get over here? Oh, you just have to upgrade your account, or you tell me, when Cathy's looking at your card, but when I'm on the free card, it just said somebody is looking at my card. Yeah, you got to be a premium account holder if you want to have trackable links for individuals. So there's a big differentiator there. Purely business card for the free account.
Okay, that answers it. I definitely have, I'm an affiliate and I definitely have a premium account. I wanted to make sure based on what we just learned today, where it transfers from. So that will be from the premium only. And
Correct.
All right, thank you. And actually the scenario you just went over is what happened yesterday on the bus. A lady, she didn't have a business card. I said, no one, and we was talking her business. I said, you know what? I got a gift for you. Give me your email. So I'm gonna do exactly what you said. Thank you.
Love it. I mean, and that's the strategy, guys. It doesn't get more complex than that. Think about the people we come across every day. Think about the people we interact every day. If this is somebody who you would benefit from knowing, it would benefit you to give them a free business card so you always have their information. But also think about the benefit of helping others. Hey, I see that you're an entrepreneur. I see that you're in business. Do you have a card? No, or yes. Do you have a digital business card? I know, Ruben, you were asking some of that question, like how many people in the audience have a digital business card? And the people who don't raise their hand, hey, great. By the time we all walk out of today's meeting, everybody in this room will have a digital business card at zero cost to them, and you'll get all of the upside benefit of sharing digital information versus a piece of paper. So I think getting out there and sharing the free card is probably one of the biggest and easiest ways to attract new subscribers as part of the affiliate program. And then realize it doesn't matter whether they change from their free account to a premium account the next day, the next week, the next month, a year down the road. Because you gave them the free business card, you get credit when they upgrade. And the fact that they're signing up for the free business card should be the big validator for you to follow up, offer some support, or help them, show them one of the premium cards, or even say, hey, I can give you my card. And if you upgrade your account, you can clone it and create your own version of it. Those types of things.
So I want to, one second, Jeff, one second. So BR, I think you know this, Ruben, this came up last week, and I just want you to know that Dev has this mug and they're working on it. So this is the free card I just spun up. I did take the video out, and I blanked the line out, and the video does still appear, and we are aware of this, and we are working on it. Yep. So I just want to tell Ruben that in case that came up again. Jeff, go right ahead.
I just was, okay, so the free card then, because I've basically completely abandoned the old builder. I'm 100% in the new. So is this, I don't have to go into the traditional builder.
This is a mobile builder card, Jeff. So you're aware the free business card is the mobile builder.
Okay, I just needed to be clear. And
when Cathy clicks on mobile builder here, you'll see that pops up as one of the templates right there, and it just says free business card.
Okay.
So the nice thing about this, Jeff, is I'm like you.
We don't have that on the other.
I kind of had abandoned this builder as well. Yep. But the nice thing about having it in this builder is if you are at a meeting or networking or somewhere, they literally can do it on their phone.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So that was the one benefit that I was like, all right, I do like that.
Well, you mean they can start to build it or play with it?
Yeah, everything in the mobile builder is available on the mobile app on the iPhone or Android. So it's very easy to set up, even if they're not in front of a computer. So that's one of the reasons why the free card uses the mobile builder, is because the advanced builder, and again, I think there's a certain skill set that everybody needs to learn a little bit. It's not a huge lift, but to learn how to use the advanced builder, you've got to realize that you've got the element on one side, all of the things you can modify on the element on the other side, whereas the mobile builder, here's the template, fill out the form. So we know the mobile builder is the easiest thing for the average person to use and fill out. Whereas for a lot of us who are on this call, we're already well into these advanced strategies, right? Our average person does not create a microsite or a sales funnel or any of those types of things. They're more focused on a landing page and business cards, but once you start seeing the power of this, you start brainstorming like, wait a second, if I link this page to this page to this page to this page, I can keep or take them on a customer journey. Yes, absolutely. But realize that that's more advanced Similarly, why we say, like, I like to build my cards on my computer, not on my phone, because I use the desktop builder most of the time.
Absolutely. And even those that claim that they love the designer on the desktop, there is no way. I would say about 90% of the people that I deal with are comfortable with a mobile builder, handing that off to them to use. As far as the designer, you have to really, really work with that. In fact, right now, one of my main questions for Cathy, I'm still working on trying to unravel that and dealing with that. It's a great tool. It's a great tool, but I'm thinking for the masses, if you open the door with a mobile builder, I think we'll have more acceptance there.
Well, so this, Jeff, if you haven't had a chance to see, this is a free account that I've just got spun up right here. I actually was making this for somebody, so I was just showing them like, hey, this is what you can do. So this is all they get in the free account if you haven't seen it. So they have cards on the left. They get one card. Activity, they can see that it's been viewed or not, but not by whom. They get an index, so you can save other people's cards by saving their QR code. So you can't send to them via shuffle or anything like that. So it's very, very simple. And then the one card they get, again, is that same layout. I was just showing somebody what they can do with it.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Quick question for Cathy, too. When she was demonstrating a minute ago, sharing her screen, the card that was next to it looked dynamic. Was that from the marketplace options?
So that's actually a custom card for one of the corporate clients. Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, I'm
gonna follow up on that. If you guys have corporate clients or people that have an interest, you can anyone can have the company put together a custom corporate card. They range, what is it, ER, anywhere from $250 to $500.
Correct. Yeah. One-time fee that gets it all designed. And here's the reality, guys. You have to think about, we talk about a spectrum. We talk about right information, right person, right time. Right. It's the right tools as well. For some of us who want to learn and apply, the advanced builder is going to offer the most flexibility. For others, filling out and building cards on the mobile builder will be the simplest path to completion. A simpler step even further is something like a custom card, where the card is already built and the only editable information might be the headshot and the name and the phone number, you know? So again, we're looking at a spectrum that wants to cover everything from DIY, right? The user's gonna do it themselves. They'll build it in the mobile or they'll build it in the desktop, but they're gonna get their hands dirty and learn how to build it, all the way to the other end of the spectrum where we have users who say, I don't wanna build anything. I want this tool and I want to start sharing, marketing, promoting, and using, and they want it done for them. Corporate cards are a great path to go down. Likewise, do not overlook the fact that if you've acquired the skills to build the card, that you could offer that as a value-added service. Now, we don't bill for it within Shuffle, but you could say, hey, you know, here's this awesome platform. Oh, by the way, for $100, I'll build your card for you. Here's my Venmo. You know what I mean? And then you set up their account, you share the login information, you log into their account, you go clone a card or use a template or use the builder and build it. Here you go. And from their perspective, and Cathy, we've seen this. We know people who are paying upwards of $500 to have digital business cards built for them. And again, you know, it's one template. Here, we've got the flexibility to do, you could build any template under the sun for those individuals. Don't lose sight of that. I know that there are people out there charging right now a few, you know, $100 here, $100 there to build out cards for people. And it's a good supplementary thing. Think about this. If you added an extra 10 cards built in a month for somebody at $100 each, that's an extra $1,000. That's totally not within the Shuffle or LFI ecosystem, but totally something you as an entrepreneur have access to once you acquire that skill set. And for other people, they don't either want to acquire the skill set, right? I'm not techie, that's fine, I'll do it for you. Or they don't have the time. And that's the other one, right? We talk to a lot of real estate agents, you know, hey, I sell a house and I make a few $1,000s, guys. I don't have 3 hours to sit down and build a digital business card or a listing site. Fine, no problem. What value does that create for you? I will charge you to get that done for you, type of thing.
Or even if you have somebody who has, service industry. I have a client who's a roofer, and he'll just call me, hey, I got a new guy on my team. He needs shuffle. Can you put that card that we made into my, so I just take his card, duplicate it into their account, say, hey, I need your picture, your information, spin it up for him. Done. It's on his, his card. He's paying for his guys to have shuffle because it's building his business. Right. So there's
times, how many times have we come across those gurus out there who are like, hey, you need a high value skill. You know what I mean? This is very similar to that. I remember when I first started, early 2000s, I knew how to code in HTML, right? Hypertext markup language, for anybody who doesn't know that acronym. And it was a skill set that not a lot of people had. So I could go out and sell that skill to people. Hey, I'll be your webmaster. Let me build your website, and go out there and do all of that type of stuff. No different here. Yes, we are all first and foremost wanting to use Shuffle to promote ourselves, to promote our brand, to promote our product, to promote our service. But once you've done that for yourself and you've acquired that skill, don't overlook the opportunity to go out there and provide that skill set to other people.
100%. All right. Does that cover everything besides Ruben's question? I can tell Ruben is like chomping at the bit. He wants to go over backgrounds for the desktop builder. Does anybody have anything else? I know. Jeff.
Yeah, good. Well, I just started typing in the chat since we got talking about questions. Instead of asking a person, if they want a card or not, you just assume they do. So you say, what works best for you to get your first digital business card up and running? Number one, do it yourself. Two, do it along with me on a rocket call. Or three, I'll do it for you.
Done for you.
I'm charging you $500.
Yep.
Minimum.
Yep.
Or $100 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, hey, again, whatever you can charge.
And then
we know there's people out there that are charging 500. So I mean,
and then you have the waiting cards. Do it yourself, and then have the next card waiting. Hey, here's the simple account. Sign up here. Blah blah blah. Maybe you just walk them through. Number two, schedule your video call, not Zoom, with me. Or number three, I'll just do it for you, and let's have a quick meeting so that I can understand your assets and blah blah blah.
100%. And that's why, to me, the first card is always the most expensive, right? It's because that's the first time that I'm going to see their assets. What do they have? Am I going to have multiple questions? Are we going to go back and forth a couple of times? Then I'll make that first card. Any subsequent cards, I usually discount those because I've usually got kind of a handle of what they have and what I'm making for them. So unless it takes just an extraordinary amount of Canva work or something like that, I mean, I just, I rest assured that I just tell them, like, next time you need something made or you need another topic or you need something else, I've already got your login. I can either keep it or you can change it.
I mean, another good example of this before we move on to Ruben's question. A few Fridays ago, we heard from Jamar, and Jamar weaves in and out of the community on the lives, but most people don't realize Jamar runs a ad agency. Again, we've heard this, like, start your own ad agency, be a digital marketer for a lot of people. There are a lot of people who've gotten into that game. He's creating the ads as shuffle cards, guys. Again, they're just landing pages, so you can do it for anything. So again, anybody out there, I want to create a digital ad agency. Great. All you need is your Shuffle subscription, 100 cards, and you are good to go with creating ads and getting those ads out there. Obviously, he's buying ad space and ad spend and posting those links to where eyeballs are, and that's part of the value that he creates for people. But the pages are there for you to do what you will with, and don't forget that value you create just by knowing that skill. Now, Ruben, backgrounds.
All right, Ruben, let me pull this up real fast and we'll go into the builder.
Yep.
What's this? Do you have something specific you were trying to do with the background?
Yes, I was working on it, and all of a sudden I created the card for someone, and then I wanted to edit it, and for some reason, the background disappeared. In other words, the control on the right-hand level, it wouldn't let me go back there. So I had to delete the card and start over.
Okay.
And it was a new build? You had just started it?
Yeah, I completed it and saved it. But you see how you can see, I always reference these two blue areas as shoulders, visual.
Kathy, do me a favor and scrunch your screen down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
No. I mean, your browser window itself. One thing that I think may have been the problem is what we're seeing right here, Ruben.
Okay, yeah, there it is right there. Yeah.
The gear. Okay, Kathy, can you use your arrows or your mouse to navigate left and right on the horizontal?
I can use my arrows.
You see? So Ruben, one thing to be aware of, that gear can sometimes get hidden depending on the size of our browser window. So I suspect that it didn't disappear, but in haste, maybe you overlooked that the screen might have been small or got cut off, because Kathy, if you mouse back the other way or use your arrows the other way, you can see now it's completely hidden.
That's exactly what I faced right there.
Yep. So with that being said, that's a big tip for everybody is, first and foremost, everything on this advanced builder screen has elements where the information in those elements is on the left-hand side. So when Kathy clicks on the photo, let's say, you're going to see all of the photo editing options on the left-hand side. Well, do not overlook what's called the cell, where it's like what these elements are in. And there's little gears. So you can see when Kathy mouses over this, it sort of highlights with little blue dashed lines everything that's sitting within that cell, okay? And when she clicks on that gear, you can see it's got all these components, adding elements, the width and the height. And as Kathy scrolls down, she'll see things like the background color in those editor options. And that's what, Ruben, you're talking about. Background color, background image, all of that type of stuff is controlled there. But you need to be clicking on the gear, to Ruben's point, in order to pull up that menu to edit those things. So Ruben, I suspect here, yep, Kathy's going to click on it. You can see background content there. She can do the colors. She'll change it all white. Maybe she wants to throw in a video or an image. Yeah. She can select an image and it'll load up an image. All of that can be on there, but you've got to get back to that gear in order to update it. So Ruben, I suspect that it was just hidden. If you ever don't see the gear for anybody, try scrolling left and right, because sometimes your screen size will be smaller than the width that we have the editor set to.
That's probably what happened.
That is so correct. That happened to me. And what I had to do was put what I was working on a bigger screen, because I was like, what happened to my gear? But once I put it on a bigger screen.
What did you do to adjust your screen size earlier? Yeah. You see how she's got this, it's almost like your view, zoom in, zoom out. I know on Apple, I can hold command and hit plus or minus to make this.
So on mine, I hold down control and I scroll my mouse wheel.
Hold down control, okay.
Yeah, hold down control.
In the editor there, it just gets smaller and smaller for Kathy and takes up less of the window. That's going to expose that gear that might have been too big on the original outset. Yeah, I know specifically for me, Brenda, that happens to me, Ruben, that happens to me if I'm editing on my laptop where there's like a little 13-inch screen versus the other screen that I have over here, which is like the monster screen.
Just a laptop. Just a laptop, not a monster.
I had to put it on my monster screen. I was like, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I had to walk away and come back and look for it.
So I think the important thing here, guys, is everything that you click within the editor is going to pull up a menu on the left-hand side with elements or with options within that element that can be adjusted. So don't overlook things. I sometimes will see cards where the default color options are still there. And hey, maybe you love the blue, but if it's not matching your look, your feel, your brand, I will tell you right now, anything negative is having a negative impact on your potential conversion. So you always want to be really dialing in your card to make it perform the best it can perform.
Yeah, so to me, that's also where those background images or background videos can either become distracting, or you see here where it can become where the background picture takes over what you're putting in your cards. You have to be real careful about where you place it, whether or not, you let it scroll, because you can do, you can have it cover, you can have it continue, you can have it, lots of different things you can put back there. It can get very, very busy.
And then Cathy, if you'll scroll up real quick and click on the center gear, that one. And then let's put the, did you have it as transparent on the background color?
I do.
Yeah. And so you could say, look, I like it, but I want to bring in some more, less transparency, so that way it's not detracting so much. You've got some options every time you've got a different cell. So you can see as Cathy slides that over, it's going to become less transparent versus more transparent. And some or more or less, you can control how much of that background comes through.
So I got an idea. Okay. Back to the agenda. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tech Tuesday is always Tuesday, right? Yeah, we had to have a subset. Tech on mobile or tech on desktop. And we'll have a whole course of one segment. We'll take one segment each time to get it down. Guys, this is the most magnificent tool, but it takes a lot of understanding, especially for me.
Well, and Ruben, as an artist, I want to ask you some questions, because as an artist and somebody who works with paint, you know what I mean? My kids love painting, but it's more the watercolor thing and the finger paints, right? You have to learn there's different types of brushes. There's different types of paint. There's canvases and paper and charcoal and all these other things that you can use as your medium. And you have to acquire some skills in order to put forth what you envision as that art. And I think that this is no different. You're just using a different tool instead of a brush. You're sort of using this interface. But yeah, go ahead.
Painting is a whole different intuitive type thing that you can actually show, and your mind adjusts to the paint, the mixing and all. But with technology right now that we're looking at here, the variables there, we need to probably just segment one element and then just go on it. And remember, repetition always does help out, because, I mean, just look at just that little slider that made a big, I mean, you showed us basically how to open up the window to work with this tool. I mean, that was like, where did that come from?
Exactly.
Unless you ask the question. And I mean, there's so much to this that I'm thinking it really devotes time. And I think that in our precious time element here, Tech Tuesday is wonderful, guys. I'm going to be bringing people in here, but can you imagine me bringing in a visitor that's just getting used to their free card and signed up for a mobile card, being exposed to this? I think we ought to segment this, and maybe for designers, have a special class that you can go over this with us. I think that's just my suggestion.
Sure. Or maybe we do an advanced training on one days and getting started on another day and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, I've got to jump, everybody. I've got a meeting I'm late for, but please stick around. Cathy, feel free to finish things up. Thank you all.
I think Jeff had one last thing to say.
Well, the slider, I mean, I use transparency all the time in Canva, and I had no clue that you could adjust the transparency. So you've got your background of the actual, site, and then you have the basically it's like pizza. I know that. So you got the crust, which is the very bottom, which is the background, which is the upper right gear. Okay, so that's the crust.
Oh yeah.
And then the sauce is this center section, which is, and that's how it was explained to me to understand sections. So what you're telling me is you literally can, because I like to use a nice subtle shade difference between my main background and then the running thing. And you're showing that you can actually adjust that transparency with that, but the bar is kind of subtle.
Yep. You have to know that it's there. You have to know that for sure.
So that was just that one thing I learned today was worth it.
Yay! Yeah. Ruben calls it the shoulders. So the two pillars on either side are the shoulders, and then the center section. And the nice thing too is, if you guys haven't played with it up here at the top, is if you want to see just what you're building on the mobile, there's your mobile view.
Yeah.
And then there's your desktop view. So
do those have to be edited separately? Because when I'm in ClickFunnels, I build the main site and then I go to mobile and I have to completely do a difference because it's stacked. But is this pretty much just how it looks?
Yep, this is pretty much how it looks. You can change around sizes if you do, you know, depending on the size of somebody's cell phone or the size of somebody's screen and all that stuff as well. But yeah, it does, one makes the other. So unless, like if I'm in the builder that makes like the custom cards, yeah, I can make a different changes on both, like you were saying. But this builder does both.
Right. And so what I do, and then, Cathy, this will help everybody. When I tend to get my copy, I don't like orphans. I don't like to have copy and then an orphan word. So I change the size of the parameters, right, to get it looking good on the editor. Then I go and I hit it on my phone, and all of a sudden it's not doing on my, like what I'm going to send the person on there. So you have to keep edit. Are you finding that you have to play with the editor and then what you actually manifest in the actual final product isn't always copacetic?
I do, but again, it also depends on what phone they have, right? There's so many different sizes of screens at this point. From if you go back and people can view all the way from iPhone 6 to now, imagine the difference in the sizes. But yeah, even when I sent that guy the card this morning, I was like, why are you sending that without looking at it? I always send it to myself first. I'm like, there's something's going to be haywire and you didn't send it to yourself. Absolutely. So yes, I am a big proponent of sending it to yourself first.
Oh, yes. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for participating. We will see you guys next Tuesday. If you have any questions, you know where to reach out to us. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, all right, have a good week, everyone.
Cool. Stay cool. Yeah, Greg, what's up?
Thank you.
Let me stop.